I am so very, very happy to see each one of you. You always make me feel so welcome when I come here. Wow. Thank you. Thank you so much. My name is Dawn Morningstar, and as you saw in the bulletin, yes, that is my real name. I like to get that out of the way because through the years, people have, after they've known me for a while, they'll say, okay, Dawn, what's your real name? And I tell them that, yes, indeed, that is my given name. My dad's name was Arthur Morningstar, and when I was born, my grandmother suggested the name Dawn. So anyway, it's been a fun name to have through the years. I wanted to start off today by doing something that I don't do a lot, and that is to quote the Bible. I'm finding through the years that my understanding of it, as I evolve, my understanding of the Bible sometimes becomes enhanced and elevated. And so I'm thinking now of Genesis 1:3, and that is where God said, "Let there be light," and there was light. God said, "Let there be light," and there was light. So I think of this light as source, as the spark of life, the spark of creation. And if you go back to the meditation, you'll see that, this is you. This symbolizes you. This golden candle symbolizes you, with this eternal wick inside. That is our constant connection to God. So imagine yourself as this beautiful golden candle, because that is what you are, always with light inside of you, light going out from you, lighting the world. Sometimes in life, we can encounter a breeze that might seem to blow that flame out. So that breeze could be, you're driving along, you're feeling very centered, and another driver cuts you off. And that breeze, for a brief moment, attempts to blow out your light. But did it really? Did the breeze really blow out your light? Wait for it. Okay, we practiced this, remember? Anyway, I practiced this several times, and it will come back on, I promise you. The idea is that, there we go, our light never, ever can be extinguished. It's impossible, because we are connected to the light of God. We are one with the light of God. So sometimes that breeze is a little bit more than a breeze. Sometimes it's a gust of wind. Maybe we've lost a job or had something happen that has really seemed to put out that light again, and we're not feeling so light in the moment. So that gust of wind, again, feels like the light has gone out. But we know that that is not the truth. That light can never go out. Sometimes the light or the breeze turns into a gale wind, such as the loss of someone that we love very, very much in our lives, or a tragedy that has come to pass. And that gale wind can again seem to put out the light. But we remember to always go back to the source of our light, and there it always will remain. When I was practicing this yesterday, and apparently I should have practiced it a little bit more, I got a phone call from my partner, Patrick, who asked me, what is the underlying message that is really feeling like an inspiration to you, Dawn, as you're creating this talk for tomorrow? And I said, well, what feels most inspiring to me is to remember that our communion and our remembrance of that light with God always keeps us at peace no matter what is going on around us. No matter what is going on around us. And I said that light really cannot be extinguished no matter what. And I had just practiced the candle that was supposed to stay lit no matter what. And as I was talking to him, I turned around and my trash can was on fire. So I quickly put it out and then realized, and I said to him, see, that flame really can't be extinguished no matter what. So that's what we see a lot of. You know, it's the season of light. We have lights on Christmas trees, extra candlelight, all of these different things that can remind us of that light, these external things that remind us of light. I want to go back over 2,000 years ago when Jesus the Christ was here upon the planet living. And to remind us that he said, I am the light of the world. Whoever follows me will never walk in darkness, but will have the light of life. Can you feel what that might mean? Can you feel what he was saying there? Now, I have to be honest with you. For many years, when I would hear that quote, I felt, well, that's just about Jesus being the light of the world. That's not for me. That's for Jesus. And I've come through the years studying, meditating, praying, seeing examples of people being the light in the world. And I realize now that when Jesus said that, that was an invitation to us. That was an invitation for us to follow that way of love, of kindness, of compassion, of non-judgment, of forgiveness. And when we do that, then we are the light of the world. He said, you will do these things and greater. He was reminding us that we are light as well. So take a moment and feel that light presence within you. Just let yourself really feel it. Do you ever find that you talk yourself out of it sometimes? You talk yourself out of your light? That can happen by watching too much news, listening to the things that are wrong, listening to that person in your life who just can only focus on what's terrible and wrong. We get to choose in every moment. We get to choose whether we will be light or whether we will go down another path. We always get to choose that. So Jesus, he awakened us with these new ideas, because up to that point, people didn't see one another that way. So he awakened us and he inspired us. And he educated us. He told us ways to be light in the world. He told us ways to do it. He invited us and he prepared us for this time on the planet. You know what I'm talking about. Peggy mentioned about the 12-22. We just had 12-12-12. And many people around the planet prayed and meditated for love and peace. And so even if these are just dates on a calendar and they don't really mean anything, what if the very fact that people all around the world are claiming peace, claiming love, thinking of light, being light, sharing their light, Don't you think that makes a difference? Don't you think that makes a difference in the world? We have to remember that this is real. You know, we can spend so much of our time reading about these concepts and feeling a momentary inspiration. And then we get to a point of spiritual maturity where we say, I am that. I am love. I am light. I am compassion. I am joy. Can you feel that? Can you feel what that feels like? Are you ready to claim that in your life right now? Yes? Come on, tell me. Yes. As I like to say, the time for pussyfooting around is over. It's time to be that which we came here to be. This is the time. There is no mistake that each of you are here on this planet at this particular time in history. You are needed, you are necessary, you are part of the plan. We have been and are prepared for a golden age. Now, maybe for some of you, the first thing that might come to your mind is, wow, it doesn't feel like that when we think about what happened on Friday. And yet, here's where we can keep our focus. Robbie Parker, the father of 6-year-old Emily Parker, he remembers his own light. Do you know what he said? He said, I want you to know that our love and respect go out to you as well. He was talking to the family of the perpetrator. This is hours after he lost his daughter. So doesn't that tell us that there is something very big going on this planet? That a human being who lost his joy could immediately go to the place of forgiveness and love and compassion, even to the person, the family that had done this terrible act. That is the acceleration that we see now on this planet. That's how we can all be. The old paradigm is there would have been a punitive, hateful, fearful thing from this father that would have gone on maybe his whole life, maybe many lifetimes. But he remembered his own light. And he stood there and told us that. He was reminding us of our own light. If he can do it, can't we? Can't we? I say yes, we can. I have hope because we can get there faster. It's in the acknowledgement of our own light and the shining of our own light. We don't rid the world of darkness by cursing it and being fearful of darkness. We do it by bringing in light. We have everything we need to be that light. Everything. We just have to remember it, claim it, be in communion with it. I read somewhere just not too long ago that we can get to a point as humans where we will actually have a halo of light around our heads. And at first when I read that, for a brief second, I went to an old place and went, yeah, right, like I'm going to be St. Dawn, right? With all the mistakes I make, I don't think so. But just for a second I went there. And then I thought, wait a minute, why not? Why couldn't we all walk around with an aura of light around us? Wouldn't that get rid of a lot of darkness? We wouldn't even have to do anything. We could just be present. We could just show up and we could be light. So that's what I'm committing myself to. It's not always easy. I know that. I understand that. We are in this world, but we don't have to be of this world. We really don't. We can lift ourselves up higher. We can elevate ourselves. We can be that which we came here to be. A practical way to do that is very simple. Picture a line. And think of things above the line are higher frequency things. They're things like love and peace and joy and kindness and all of those things that feel really good to us. Those are above the line. Below the line are those other things. Unkindness, not being compassionate, fear. So in each moment, the way that we can be the light is to choose above the line. We do get that choice. No one tells us what we have to do. We get to choose another gift from God, free will. So I invite you, as you go forth in your lives, to remember that you are light. And that the way that you keep that light bright and shining and visible to others is choose above the line. Choose above the line. Many years ago, in I guess it was the mid-90s, I decided I was going to have a Christmas party. And that Christmas party, I gave it a theme, and it was going to be called the Party of Light. And so I went about making up an invitation to send out to my friends, and I said, please come to the Party of Light. I said, bring a light, be a light, or get lit up. I did, I have to admit. And so it was just amazing to me to see how people interpreted that. Yeah, we had one couple who came with low voltage lights wrapped all around them, and they shared a transformer, so they had to walk like this everywhere they went all night. And another woman with blinking earrings, light that lit up, and another woman with a very, like all dressed in light-colored white clothing. And then another woman, Betty, came with this beautiful candelabra with all of these lit candles, and wherever she went through the night at the party, she walked with it. And I just remember looking around the room and saying, wow, look at all these cool ways that people are showing light. And I have to admit that the thing that topped it all off was when my friend, he looks very much, his name is Tim Reynolds, and back in the 90s, his hair was a chestnut color, long, beard, mustache, bright blue eyes. And if you saw him, you would think that he looks like the way Jesus is portrayed. Jesus probably did not really look like that, but that's how we have come to know the way Jesus looked. So Tim looked very much like that. His hair is white now, but back then it was this beautiful chestnut. So I happen to look out the window and I see him walking up the pathway with his wife Diane, and he's in this beautiful iridescent robe. And he came walking up, and I looked at him kind of confused, and he said, Dawn, he said, I am the light of the world. And we laughed, and some people got a little uncomfortable with that, thought it was a little sacrilegious. And now in retrospect, I realized that Tim Reynolds was right. We are the light of the world. So I would ask you in closing to silently within your being, say, I am light 3 times, and then allow that to really permeate your being. I am light, I am light, I am light. And so it is. Thank you for welcoming me into your spiritual home. God bless you all.